Hello everybody, it is Nick here with another Nick's Topics Dragon Ball What If topic video for you guys today, and today we are getting in to part 14 of What If Nom Became a Z Fighter. We are already approaching the end of this series. Time flies, doesn't it? Anyways, we recap with the Resurrection F arc going basically as fast as many of the other sagas in this story, as well as my other Dragon Ball stories, because of the influence of Nom being around, and Frieza being basically just in his final form, because he was sneak attacked on Namek in his first form. Basically like my other stories. Not really relevant. Anyways, we ended off with Champa and Vados and the entrance to the Universe 6 vs. 7 tournament. And I said, who would be the people in the tournament now? And without Vegeta, would that pose a problem, even though it hasn't before? Well, today we answer that. Goku is obviously going to be the key player in this. Gohan, because he's stronger than Goku, not only because of his mystic form, but with the influence of God Ki mixing in with that form makes it even better. Tien and Nam, because they're the next two strongest aside from Goku and Gohan. They've had plenty of Supreme Kai training and a little bit of Beerus training recently. And Piccolo, because he's the next in line. He's the fifth strongest. And we have our team. Going into the tournament itself, it's going to be quite clear-cut. Goku's match with Botamo goes pretty much the exact same way, because I don't really see anything major playing a part that would really influence this fight. And the same goes for Goku versus Frost, except for the fact that I don't feel that Goku would really be familiar with Frost transformations because Frieza didn't transform on Namek. So I feel that he would transform nonetheless, so we have that match out of the way. We then have Piccolo versus Frost, which goes the same way as you would expect. But with no Vegeta to butt in, Piccolo gets reinstated and fights Frost again. Now, with this much stronger Piccolo, he takes the second match very seriously. Not only because he didn't get to showcase his full power because he was only relying on the special beam cannon, but the fact that he knows Frost's trickery and knows how to better counterattack him, basically. Now he knows that this was all just a facade and that whatever respect he had for him is long gone, so he takes this fight way more seriously and wins. But, unfortunately, going into the next match, this proves to be an error for him fighting Frost again, because with his fatigue from that fight, and the fight before fighting Frost the first time, Vegeta is too much of a problem for him, and he gets knocked out and almost suffocated almost immediately from Vegeta's heat and strength alone. Goku, after getting reinstated because of the whole Frost poison thing, goes next again, pretty much following the same order except Vegeta isn't there. Goku fights Vegeta, and besides having to use Super Saiyan to a good extent like Vegeta did, he's okay in the match. Nothing really is a problem for him here. He then goes on to fight Cabba. And for those of you thinking because Vegeta ain't around, that means Cabba ain't gonna learn Super Saiyan, I don't think so. Many people argue this, but I feel that Goku fighting him would still, in the end, make Cabba go Super Saiyan, except with Goku, it would be done in a much nicer way. It would be much more like a friendly fight, and not nearly as brutal as Vegeta's entrance with Cabba. So, Goku wins nonetheless, but it is a much nicer fight. We then get on to the Goku versus Hit fight, and this plays out as you would expect, except for the fact that Goku has to get used to Hit's time skip without seeing someone else fight it, Vegeta, previous. But besides that, this match pretty much plays out the exact same way that it did in the original story, except for the fact, like I said, Goku has to get used to his time skip way earlier on, and Goku's stronger here. But nonetheless, I still see Goku exiting the match because of Beerus and Champa and seeing his true strength, except Gohan is the next one fight, because no one's truly been eliminated aside from Piccolo. Gohan is the next one in line to fight Hit, because he wants to basically finish it, because he knows that he can definitely beat Hit from what he's seen from him and just his power. And with Hit having exerted a lot of strength from Goku, Gohan barely has to put as much power as you would think into this match. God, if not a tiny fraction of blue, because like I said, Mystic adds an edge to that. Afterwards, Goku's meeting with Zeno and pretty much the end of the Universe 6 vs. 7 tournament plays out as you would expect. Already done. I know, another one, like I said, another saga bites the dust right away. Now, for my other Dragon Ball stories, Zamasu hasn't really been relevant. Will he be here? Sad to say, not really. But I will explain why that is, and this time it will actually be like a more detailed explanation, rather than brushing him off to the side with a quick explanation. Now, on one hand, we could see Goku Black again, because of Goku's fight with Hit, even though Gohan was the last one to fight Hit. And that's where another part plays in here with a bit more confusion. This time it's down to confusion of this particular saga rather than nothing to do with it, like the other stories. We could also see Gohan Black because of Gohan being the last one to fight Hit, but that also depends on how much power Hit still had to force Gohan to go higher, because if he just went to God or something, Goku would be the primary goal, because he would see that he was weaker. He wouldn't really have an interest in Gohan. But even if either one of these two happened, Gohan Black, Goku Black, there's something in the future that we gotta discuss. Remember how earlier on in the series, when I introduced the future timeline, future Gohan lived and got Super Kaioken, and Nam explained that, future Nam, and he's still relevant? Well, with Super Saiyan Future Gohan Super Kaioken, or however you want to say that name, and possibly Super Saiyan 2 going into the Buu saga there, along with Future Nam, who is strong himself, duh, and Future Trunks. Now, Future Trunks here is not a Saiyan, because he's the spawn of Yamcha and Bulma, rather than Vegeta and Bulma. And, depending if Yamcha is still alive in the future as well, if any one of them were to die, say Buu Saga, beginning of the Black Saga, or all of them die, except Future Bulma, kind of like Future Trunks' story, we can also see Super Saiyan 3 Future Gohan in a fit of rage, because I still feel that he would have gotten Super Saiyan 2 in the Buu Saga regardless. Kind of following Trunks' leads, but way more so because he's freaking Gohan. We could have seen Super Saiyan Rage 3. It's not really clear cut on this, how this would go, but I feel that the future timeline would be resolved in its own manner. There's not really much to bring into the main fold. Anyways, with that out of the way, before the Tournament of Power, because we're already getting there, Goku still has his little argy-bargy with Hit, like him basically putting a hit on himself for Hit. It's kind of confusing how to say that, but you guys get what I mean. That particular scene still happens. And we get the entrance to the Tournament of Power. And it is much earlier, because with one Zeno, he is far more bored. He doesn't have another playmate. So, soon enough, the Grand Priest arrives on the Kai planet of Universe 7 and proclaims that the Tournament of Power is soon going to be set in motion. But who will be the team here? And will this actually prove a problem for our heroes? And that's where we leave things for the moment. So, hope that you guys are enjoying this series as of now. Hope that you guys have enjoyed all my other stories. If you have any other ideas from any other shows or movies, like ones I've covered, or ones that I've yet to cover, leave a comment down below. I read every single one of my comments. I'm always looking forward to new ideas and such. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.